live here, the Box to Box Radio podcast. I am Travis Carmichael. You know by the sound of my voice and the music that this is the away leg. I'm so good. I don't need home field advantage. Sitting to my left is the other Travis. How you feeling, Trav?
Good.
Good?
Feeling good, yeah.
You ready to step into the octagon?
Yeah, let's go.
Oh, he's so ready. Producer Chris sitting across from me. He is back to the producer thing, off the mic. We sold him. We're Chelsea. We're trying to stockpile ammunition, so we got rid of him. No thoughts, Producer Chris? Just shaking your head quiet at me. Oh, bring out the whistle for that one. And then to my right, the pleasure of introducing Dirt to her first away leg.
Oh, yeah.
And Dirt, I love you. I have a lot of respect for you. But because I have so much respect for you, you will earn no quarter.
Okay.
You're in the octagon now, so I hope you're ready.
All right. Well, I'll try to prepare myself.
There is VAR. There is chair throwing.
Okay.
Punching and scratching may or may not be allowed. We're just going to make it up as we go along.
All right. I'm ready. Let's go.
Cool. Dirt's about it. Again, we got to thank Sincerely Yours for the music. Obviously, their title track, Put Me in Coach. Great song. Give them a listen. If you guys have any opinions about what we say on the show or have any questions about the away leg, we'd love to have an away leg question from you guys. Our Facebook is Box to Box Radio. Instagram, Box to Box _radio. Our Twitter is at B_B_radio. And you can email us at 90min@boxtoboxradio.com. We are on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, and Spotify. So without further ado, let's get after it.
Let's go.
All right.
Game on. Here we go. Question number one. There has been a rumor circulating in the social media sphere, if you will. Obviously, Austin FC coming into town very soon. Mm-hmm. There's been a rumor that Chicharito Hernandez himself will be the first designated player signing of Austin FC. Yeah. So,
wow.
My question to you guys, A, is this a good signing or not a good signing? And B, if you were in the ownership of Austin FC, who would your first designated player be?
To answer your first question?
Yeah.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, Chicharito's, he's always been a player that I thought he's pretty good at soccer, pretty good at scoring goals.
I mean, he does find a way to score goals somehow.
Yeah, he's scrappy, and I think that he would do well in Austin. I think he would serve the market and the demographic here well. And I also look at another player. You asked for other suggestions.
Yeah.
Giovanni Dos Santos has been out at LA Galaxy and out of contract, so I think he would be a good player that would fit in well there. And then there's a whole host of other European stars that are out of contract now, and I could see any number of them landing there. So, yeah.
That's interesting because I don't know if Chicharito's a good signing.
Well, why not?
Why not?
I think he's old.
Yeah.
I think he's a little bit past it. I think he's a bit of a prima donna. I think that I can agree with that. You would pay a lot of money, and I don't think you would get a lot of value. I do think he does fit the market in terms of kind of the Hispanic demographic, which would be good. Obviously, when you have a Mexican national team player, you have a lot of buzz about that. I think he'd be a bust.
And he might be. We might end up seeing that. Another young Mexican player that they would definitely have to splash some cash to poach him away would be Chucky Lozano.
There's no way.
And I know.
There's no way they're going to get him.
I know. It's a very, very long shot, but that's the point of this show.
I don't think that the Galaxy, who in my mind are the richest team in the league, could get him. I just think that is like way too, like he's on an Almiron level, maybe better than Almiron.
Yeah.
And Almiron just sold for what? To Newcastle for what? 27 million or something like that?
Yeah.
There's no way.
I
agree with you. He's great.
I'm just shouting out what's popping in my head.
Hey, a boy can dream, right?
I mean, apparently he is dreaming with comments like that, but whatever. Dirt, enlighten us with your kind of opinion on this matter.
I'm not very keen on players. I don't know names very well, so I don't know that I have somebody to suggest, but I do think Chicharito will be a great choice. I think you got...
Interesting.
He brings seniority to the game, and he's been a player for a long time, and he has his name out there. And so if they're trying to draw attention to Austin FC and they're trying to make a name for themselves early, signing somebody like that does that. Players who have been around for a while kind of know the name. It would be exciting to see what he brings. I don't disagree that he'll kind of be a drama queen, and there may be some issues around that, but I do think he's a good choice to start.
So if you're building a team, let's look at it from this angle as a coach, because you do coach if you're building a team and you want a marquee player, a talisman, what type of position are you looking to acquire first? Are you the type of person that's going to go out and get like a superstar goalkeeper? Are you going to get a goal scorer? Are you going to get a center midfielder? What is the most important talisman type player for you?
I like to build my teams from the back line up.
Okay.
So I look at center backs, I look at back fours. I'm a 4-5 kind of coach.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know. Maybe it's because I coach high school.
A
And
lot of 0-0 draws.
yeah, well, in high school girls soccer, there's not a whole lot of scoring anyway. So a lot of it depends on your
Fair point.
and so a lot of it depends on your defense. If they don't score against us, at least we have a shot. We only need 1 goal to win.
Hypothetically, yes.
Yes, hypothetically. So I look at my center backs first. I'm not going to lie. I look at my outside backs. I build from the back up.
Oh man, if you're spending money on a talisman player as an outside back,
Yeah.
yikes. Yikes. That is problematic. Usually tactically the worst players on the ball are the outside backs. I would not spend marquee money on like a Marcelo at left back because for me the best left back in the world and the second best left back in the world, the gap not that big.
Yeah.
Trav, what about you? Like if you were kind of had your own club and you were looking to sign a marquee player, what position would it be?
It would have to be, for me, a winger,
A winger, okay.
a goal scorer, or a 10.
Okay, I could see that.
So,
All right, that's interesting.
Yeah.
No goalkeeper? Goalkeepers are a dime a dozen.
just ask Colorado how their DP goalkeeper is working out for them.
I was going to say that actually. So I think every DP goalkeeper in MLS, I don't really think any of,
They haven't panned out.
like even if you look at like when the Union came in the league and they signed Mondragon, the goalkeeper, for a little bit, like
Yeah.
he wasn't that good.
But he was very old.
He was old. Howard hasn't done well. Guzan's
He's
been
also old.
okay. I mean, you just look at kind of the list of designated player goalkeepers, and I just don't think that wasting your time on a superstar goalkeeper when you can get a decent goalkeeper like Andre Blake, that's pretty young.
Yeah. Yeah, I think goalkeeper is a position that you should craft internally. Like a lot of the academy goalkeepers are coming up now that are pretty good.
Yeah.
And I think you can get a decent goalkeeper that's going to serve you well for not that much money.
Yeah. So for me, if I had a club, my talisman is a number 9. I think that's the reason forwards get paid the most money in the world. They put the ball in the back of the net. You can win 1-0 if you want. I'm going to win 7-6. So I'm going to go score goals. It's exciting. I'm going to do that. I want someone that can put the ball in the back of the net, and that's the hardest thing with obviously teams in MLS is you look at not many people want goal scorers. Producer Chris is shaking his head at me. Yes, I would sign Mbappe if I had the choice, but obviously that's not going to happen because I don't think Austin FC has $200 million just sitting
No,
around to
probably
spend
not.
on a player.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd fit in the salary cap of Major League Soccer. So,
Well, he would be a DP, so the salary cap wouldn't matter.
I mean, yeah, but they wouldn't have the money. Is
But
what
it's
I'm
still,
trying to say.
it's still money. So
Yeah, it's still money. I would perfectly sign. So I'm going to look at a forward. I'm looking at maybe like a Hispanic type player would be good because you have a large Hispanic demographic. I think it'd be good. It would bring out a lot of fans. It'd be good for the money. I think Chicharito is a little past it, so maybe not. For me, I have 2 targets in mind. Maybe Raul Jimenez from Wolves.
Okay.
I think that would be really good. Obviously, he might be a little bit out of the pay range. And then for me, another one would be Vargas from Tigres.
yeah,
Who obviously the Chilean national, who's been rumored at maybe leaving Tigres, maybe even also his teammate at Tigres, Eder Valencia, has been looking to maybe go on the move. So kind of that South American, kind of Central American type of player, I think would be good. That would just be my preference. So
I don't necessarily think that Chicharito would be the best fit for them.
it would be a very good marketing signing.
But
I don't know if he could produce.
Right.
That's fair.
But I think it's going to end up being the player that we get. And Precourt's already come out and said that Chicharito is the type of player that we want. We want to go after a Hispanic guy that's going to fit in well with the market and is going to bring a big name to the city and can potentially turn out to be a good player.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, that you see kind of that's how players are doing it. It's kind of the new model of MLS is less of the washed up designated player from Europe coming over and more of the young South American guy that really wants to come play in the U.S.
Yeah.
Wants to make a good life for him and his family and come to a cool country where they're going to be valued and kind of go from there. So, but yeah, all right, fair enough. Dirt, you survived question number 1. Moving on.
Yeah, barely.
We will be less kind to you as the questions go on.
That's as to be expected.
Huge news out this week. Michel Platini, obviously the president of UEFA, has been arrested. He's been brought into custody with a connection to bribery with the Qatar World Cup in 2022. Doesn't look good. Certainly doesn't look good. Also, you have a year before, his son is offered to be the president of a sports company from Qatar. A year before the bid went out. That's a nice, cushy 3-figure or a 6-figure salary there. Yeah, it's a little bit sketchy. So my question here, obviously, look, there's no new news here. It's just now coming that they're finally taking action. There was a bribe. It was bribery. There's no other way that Qatar could possibly have hosted the World Cup. It's Qatar. It's the smallest country in the world.
Right.
It's in a freaking desert, for God's sake. It's going to be played in the winter because it's too hot to play in the summer because it's 120 degrees. What freaking morons are going to play in the summer in the desert in the World Cup and have air-conditioned stadiums?
Yeah, and none of the stadiums even exist yet. They're still actively being built. So so they granted them the World Cup with no stadium infrastructure to host these games. Granted, it was at that time 8-10 years away.
Yeah.
Right.
So there is time to do that, but then we're running into another problem. Throughout the process of building the stadiums, they're using migrant workers.
Yeah, which was that blew up really fast.
Yeah, and there have been countless reports of deaths on the job site and just tons of human rights violations outside of the way that they're treating these workers to build the stadiums. I've heard it's been basically equated to slavery almost. Yeah. And this is a country that they don't really hold the same values that we hold here in the U.S.
Yeah.
So I really think it was a long shot for them to actually host this World Cup successfully. And Blatter had already been arrested in conjunction with bribery to this World Cup as well.
With this, and then obviously CONCACAF as well. And, you have, it's just a whole process.
So FIFA's a big mess. And there've already been talks probably from the day that it was granted to them to relocate the tournament. But time's running out, and I don't know if that would be worth it at this point. We might just have to bite the bullet.
See, Dirt, this is why I love him, because he has just now moved transition. We call that transition, folks. He has transitioned into my main question here. Should Qatar still get to host the 2022 World Cup? And if no, what is a country that can, in 3 years' time, I mean, you're looking at 3 years from now, hosting the World Cup.
Yeah.
Who can step up and host the World Cup in that short of notice?
I think if you're going to look at alternate countries to host, you have to look at the big 5 leagues in Europe.
Agreed.
I think the U.S. would be on the top of the list.
No, we're hosting in 2026. We don't need to be on the top of the list.
I know, and that was my next point.
Okay. Sorry, I cut you off, Trav.
Anyway, I'm saying generally they would be, but because of hosting in 2026, obviously they're scratched. Germany hosted in 2006, so I think that would move them further to the bottom of the list.
Correct.
I look at countries like Spain and England that have multiple stadiums to house these games in, and they have the infrastructure to host 32 teams with all their staff, plus the millions of fans that travel to the country each year for the tournament. So I look at countries like Spain and England, I think would be on the top of the list. They can get it together last minute, and it wouldn't be too big of an issue.
So I don't know this information off the top of my head. Maybe you guys can help me out. But when's the last time, China or Japan, one of those hosted?
Japan co-hosted with South Korea in 2002.
Okay.
China has never hosted.
I think there's some political issues with that as well.
But there's
But
apparently
clearly
not.
we're going to Qatar.
Yeah.
So
Hey, apparently there's a price for everything, though,
Well,
because
yeah.
it doesn't matter
Actually-
the political issue. Just for X amount of $1 million, it can go away. It's just a sketchy deal. But that's interesting. You think China would be a good spot?
I don't know that they'd be a great spot, but I think if somebody's going to get it done in time, they've got, 3 years notice, you said? And so I think if somebody's going to get it done, they have a couple stadiums from previous things that they've done.
Obviously, Beijing hosting the Olympics
Exactly,
before and stuff like that. Yeah.
big things like that. So
Yeah.
I think they could. I don't think there's any doubt they could get it in 3 years.
I disagree with you.
Okay.
And I'll be polite. I'll be easy on you since
No,
it's your
it's
first
okay.
time. Oh, you want me? Okay, cool.
Yeah, go for it.
I think that is not a good pick because they don't have a domestic league that can handle the volume in terms of 32 teams. And also the country is too big and the travel would be tremendous.
Okay.
This past summer, we had a World Cup in Russia. and
Yeah.
people
Russia's
are
huge.
But also, Russia had time to prepare for it. You're talking about 3 years of preparation. That's
True.
not enough.
true. But if one of your points is going to be about travel,
But also, like I said, Russia had time to prepare to deal with the travel and to try to negate that as much as possible. China would not have that time.
one thing that I just thought about is pretty much half of the country of China is you can't travel it because
Yeah.
like
You can't travel.
there is a very small portion of the country where a majority of the population is located, and outside of that, it's rainforest. So
Hey, that sounds like a great Nike commercial. Let's go play in the woods. Let's go have the forest.
I mean, if you're worried about space, they have it.
well, I think Brazil built a stadium in the middle of a rainforest, and it's now just an empty bowl. So
Yikes.
I think they're using it as a bus depot now.
Yikes.
So
So that's an interesting choice. For me, I agree with Trav. I think the biggest thing, the country that can do it right now, a country that can do it in a year's notice would be England for me. I think Spain is a decent shout, but I think England does it. They do it every weekend for EPL, and they have a ton of different leagues. I would not just give it to England, though. I would give it to the UK as a whole.
Yeah.
And I would have, you have
Games in
Ireland,
Wales.
and Scotland,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Wales, and because you have some good Premier League, teams in Wales, and you also have Scotland and Ireland have some top level teams as well, and
Yeah.
then you have more national stadiums with the four of them. And you could use. I mean, to me, I think Wembley's one of the greatest stadiums in the world. Seats over
yeah.
100,000 people, so you
Yeah.
could have a World Cup final there. No
yeah.
problem. You could have a World Cup final there tomorrow. It is ready to go.
yeah.
So we kind of have these sub-hosts that would be kind of a decent spot, but my borderline question for you, yes or no, should Qatar host the 2022 World Cup?
No, but I think they're still going to.
I'm gonna say no. I don't think they should.
I agree, but guess what? It's too late.
Yeah.
And this is the stupidest thing for me because you give a country the World Cup and everybody outside of FIFA is like, that's the stupidest choice ever. It's in the desert. There are no stadiums. It's the smallest country in the world. They didn't even have a national team that was any decent until
Right.
after the appointment. Now they're finding all these guys magically that are playing in the Qatar League. I think that's a little sketchy. I think I saw some one-name Brazilians playing for Qatar earlier against Argentina. So that's interesting. But it's just the whole thing. It's just like just how greedy can you be? It's like you're going to ruin the greatest sporting event in the world by sending it to a country that you're going to go play in the desert for God's sake. FIFA's talking about freaking water breaks over 85 degrees, and you're going to go play in a 120 degree environment in the desert.
Well, it's gonna be the winter,
It's
so it's only
insane.
100.
Yeah, and so exactly.
Oh, so
It's only 100.
it'll just be like yeah.
Yeah.
So they're
good,
gonna,
yeah.
and that's a good point too. They're going to
Balmy
flip the
winter.
tournament to run. So they're gonna have the tournament run in the winter, which is smack dab in the middle of every major league in Europe.
Yeah.
So sorry EPL, we're gonna take a month and a half break
Yeah.
from the season so you can play in the summer, but we're gonna play in the winter. Every World Cup in the past 20 years has been in the summer, but no, we're gonna play in the winter.
And Don Garber's just sitting back thinking, now you know how I feel.
Don Garber's like, what World Cup break? No, it's not happening. There you
Yeah.
go. Look at that.
You get 2 weeks for the group stage, and that's it.
And that's it.
Yeah, so obviously got to keep you updated on that there, but it's very clear to all of us in this room, Qatar bribed to get the World Cup. Can they prove it? I doubt it. Is he going to go to jail permanently? I doubt it. Is Qatar going to lose the World Cup? Also, again, doubt it. Don't think any of that's going to happen, but
Unfortunately.
we'll keep you posted because Qatar's a bunch of cheaters, but it's okay, baby. We got 2026.
Woohoo!
All right. Moving on away from that nonsense now that I'm all riled up with the incompetence of FIFA. There's been some interesting trade talks as of late. So these three players specifically have come out and either said, I want to leave the club, or the club has said, I want them gone. So obviously you look at Paul Pogba coming out into the media saying, I love United. I've done well at United, but I think it's time for my next challenge. I'm ready for my next challenge, which is kind of cryptic words there. Gareth Bale, Real Madrid says we want him out. Gareth Bale says, I ain't leaving. I'll sit on my contract and play golf. I don't care if he never plays me. I'm making 200 and whatever a week. I'm sitting on my contract and playing golf. And so that's going to be interesting. And then Neymar, PSG has come out. The president of PSG has said verbatim, if he doesn't want to be here, no one forced him to be here. He's either got to get in line or he has to go. Obviously, Neymar's agent responding to that saying, okay, we'll go then. I think it's interesting. So my question specifically, we could talk about a ton of different players moving in the offseason here in the transfer window, but I want to know specifically where you think these 3 players will end up because the turmoil of the club situation where either they've said they want out or, the club has said, get this guy out of here. Any takers?
Well, great. They're all coming to Austin FC.
Those are the 3 designated players.
All right, settled. Done.
Done.
All 3 of them.
Austin
I don't
FC,
think-
congratulations on your first ever MLS Cup championship,
Exactly.
the first year in the league.
So yeah, I think Pogba, he's already been linked to Juve and to Real Madrid. There's a bit of pressure on United as well to bring in another big name to replace him.
Yeah, so that's a big thing, and we'll go the list one by one. We'll start with Pogba, and then we'll kind of go from there. But that is that thing, like you said, bringing in a marquee player.
Yeah, Pogba right now, he is the face of Adidas.
That's true.
And
yeah.
also Adidas is a kit supplier for Manchester United.
I didn't think about that.
So it's kind of like a dual contract with Adidas. So they're using Pogba to promote all their gear and stuff, and also it's the kit supplier for one of the largest teams in the world.
Yep.
So that would be a big issue for United, but I do think that Pogba will be leaving. He's lost the respect of his teammates, and I think he's lost the respect of the fans as well. Outside of those 2, I really don't know.
Fair enough. What do you think?
I don't know that I have a lot of input on this. I don't know a lot about.
Stop sitting on the fence. Make a point. Producer Chris agrees with me. Come on, give me the facts.
I
What
don't
do you
know a
think?
whole
Is he
lot
going
about
to
this
go or is he
player.
going to stay?
Oof.
Do you think he leaves or do you think he stays?
I think he leaves.
Think he leaves. Okay, there you go. That's fair. See, that's all I want from you, Dirt.
Yeah.
Just want to, I don't know. Nope. Decision. I'm all about decisions.
Hey,
I'm all
if you-
about decisions. You asked for this. You told me not to go easy on you.
I don't
asked
care
for
if you
this.
don't go easy on me. I just don't make decisions.
Yikes. I'm gonna force you to make decisions.
Are you?
Yes, I am. So Pogba, you heard it here first. Dirt says Pogba gone in the transfer window. Any idea where he'll end up?
None.
None. Okay, that's fine. You answered the main question, so I'll give you a pass on that one.
One more thing.
Oh boy, here we go.
We talked about before about how Madrid is potentially being investigated by UEFA for financial fair play.
Oh, I'm getting there.
So I don't think that they will bring in Pogba, and they also have to offload some players. So I could see Pogba going to Juve and Bale going to United.
This is why I like Trav, because he just transition. You just hear alley-oop, sets it up. It's like I'm Zardes on the goal line, and you're Pulisic, and you're just like, here you go, you dumb guy, just tap the ball in.
I'm just
And
gonna-
I
I'm gonna
just
pat-
shin it in the goal. Come on, just shin
pat-
it in the goal.
Yeah.
So thanks, Trav, for that easy setup. I'll tap it in, hope to not miss from 3 yards.
Let the record show that you just compared me to Christian Pulisic.
Oh no. I'm never going to live that one down. Mason somewhere in Georgetown, Texas is cringing at this very moment. His hostometer is just coming off there. So Paul Pogba is gone. So look, I think that why would you stay? There's no real chance of any marquee player coming in. Lukaku, one of your best friends, is going to leave. De Gea has been shocking. De Gea might leave. You have really 3 world-class players on the team: Pogba, De Gea when he wants to be, and maybe Marcus Rashford.
Yeah.
You're not getting any better. City, Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham. I'm sorry, not Chelsea, because they have the transfer ban. Producer Chris, I just got to remind you as much as possible. Liverpool, City, Arsenal,
mate.
Tottenham are getting better. Is Man United getting better? I don't really know. The fans don't like him because they don't think he works hard enough, which I don't disagree with, but United kind of playing him in a weird position. You have Solskjaer offering him the captaincy so he stays. This is just a joke. If I'm Pogba, I'm gone. I would go to Madrid, but Madrid can't afford him.
Yeah.
I think Madrid's in huge. If I'm Madrid, maybe I just buy him and just sign him to a 6-year contract. And then when fair play comes around, you're already going to have all the players you need. And then you'll just get a 2-year transfer ban, but then you already have all the players. So
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
that's
That would
one way
matter,
to
yeah.
look at it,
That
right?
could happen too. Yeah.
Yeah. I could see him going back to Juventus, but at the same time, then why did you leave? I think it was a stupid choice. I think he should have just stayed there. He had a good thing going there. I could see a Pogba for Bale switch straight up. That
Yeah.
would be interesting because then you wouldn't really
Has that ever been done in world soccer, like an actual just a straight trade?
Yes, but there's also been like certain money involved. Like, so we'll
Yeah.
give you Bale, or we'll give you Pogba and 20 million for Bale, or vice versa, or whatever. So you
Yeah.
can use a player as collateral, but then also, this is the hard thing about Real Madrid. They talk about all the time. It's like, that's great. I can sell Bale to Bayern Munich tomorrow. But if Bale doesn't agree with the contract to Bayern Munich,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean anything. Gone. Not
Right.
Contract doesn't go through. So that's the hard part, is like, you can agree to all these deals and then the player can be like, I'm not going there, and the deal falls through.
Yeah.
So I mean, I could see Pogba on an off chance going to PSG,
Huh.
playing with his buddy Kylian Mbappe, the best player in the world.
Yeah.
Producer Chris loves it. I think PSG would not be too far of a shout. He's the face of France. Kylian Mbappe is one of his good friends.
Right.
PSG have cash to spend because they're going to get rid of Neymar. They're looking for, a French player that could come do well. He's going to guaranteed win the league, so he's going to win something. He just won't win the Champions League, but I'll have a chance to win the Champions League. So I think that would be an interesting destination.
I completely forgot that League One even existed.
Yeah, I think most people do until PSG is in the Champions League, and then it's like, oh, go back to League One.
Yeah, that actually might be the strongest possibility in PSG.
I also don't really see Pogba being a sorry type player. Maybe he'll play Pogba as a 6.
Right.
I mean, but yeah, moving on. Gareth Bale. This is an interesting situation. Obviously, the club coming out and saying we want him out. Zidane saying if I had a 4th sub, I wouldn't play him. And Bale saying that's fine. I won't play. I'll just play golf and sit on my wages, making about 17 million a year.
Incredible.
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on this one? Where do you think he goes? Do you think Bayern Munich or Real Madrid have to get rid of him? Financial fair play. They need to sell him. They need to get him off the books. How do you think they're going to get rid of this guy?
Yeah, like I said, I think he's a guy that he enjoyed his time in England. That's where he got his start at Tottenham, and originally at Southampton. I could see him being a guy that wants to get back home and succeed again in England.
Home as in Wales?
It is in the UK. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Hey, Cardiff are looking for a good winger.
Yeah, no, I do realize he's Welsh. Thank you.
I'm just making sure you're paying attention, Trav.
Anyway, I think United is a strong possibility. I think he's already been strongly linked to United as well.
Yep.
And I could see him maybe going to Italy as well. I don't know where, but
Man, what I wouldn't give to have 17 mil and play 0
Right?
minutes, just getting paid to do nothing.
Yep. What do you think? Stan, going.
I think he's got to go. I think if that's what they're going to not... I think he's going to get tired of not playing. If that's really what happens, I think he's going to want to do something.
You would think from a professional standpoint, he's one of the best athletes in the world. You would think he wants to play.
Exactly.
So I think it's going to last about 6 months.
Maybe not even that long.
Maybe not that long. If he stays, it'll last about 6 months, and then he'll be playing or he'll do whatever. But you can start to see. So his agent came out, and originally they said, nope, we're not going anywhere. But now, his agent comes out and says, oh, maybe I could see him in Italy. Maybe I could see him in England, and kind of slowly baiting people. So for me, there's no doubt in my mind that he's going to go.
He's going.
It's just a matter of who's going to pay that kind of money. I think that in order to get him off the books, and I think there are a couple different destinations. I think the two most likely being, Manchester United,
Okay.
or maybe even like a Bayern Munich. Obviously, getting rid of Robin and Ribéry, they need wingers. I could
Yeah, they
see
need to
it, but
reload.
no one's going to pay this type of money. So either
No.
A, he has to take a pay cut, which joke, not going to happen, or B, Madrid is going to have to do some kind of wonky deal where like Bayern Munich or Man United will pay 90% of the salary or 80% of the salary, and then Madrid will have to pay him to play against him. It's like,
Yeah.
we're going to
Huh.
pay you to not play for us. Just
Interesting.
to keep,
Yeah,
because
to
I
get
think
him
that
out.
might be the only possible way. Obviously, him and his agent coming out and saying, absolutely not. We will not go out on loan. It's got to be permanent deal or no deal. So I think Madrid they're in a bind with this one. Obviously, they have to get him off the books, but it's going to
Exactly.
be difficult.
Yeah, I agree.
I think either way, Bale wins. So
Yeah, I mean, Bale's in a
Well, of
great
course.
spot. This
Yeah,
This was
absolutely.
stupid business, Real Madrid, and obviously Bale was worth it for a long time. But at the same time, why do you sign him to this much money for this long of a period of time?
right.
So.
Right. And he's reportedly said like he's happy where he is. Like he's
Yeah, he's happy to be in Spain playing golf on the beach,
Yeah, exactly.
Who wouldn't be?
making 17 million
Yeah,
or whatever.
absolutely.
But yeah, so it's up to the front office in Madrid to wheel a deal that gets him off the books. but it's going to be hard.
Yeah, absolutely. So moving on to the last one here, and this is the most interesting one. This is kind of the spiciest one. This is just not a good relationship. The president of PSG coming out and saying this guy's got to go. No one forced him to come here. We have to start taking the vision into the club into account, and if you're not a part of the vision of the club, then you need to leave. Neymar saying basically, fine, I'll go. So it's been interesting. I think Neymar was a really poor signing. They expected him to come in and win the Champions League. Yeah. He's done nothing but been an absolute clown.
Right.
He's run the locker room. He's told the coaches, I'm going to play this weekend. Okay, I'm not going to play this weekend because I have my cousin's wedding and whatever. I'm going to go to Brazil. Like when he got injured, his ankle, he went to Brazil and missed the trophy presentation for Ligue 1. He just didn't care. He's like, I'm going to go in Brazil and rehab my ankle and meh.
Yeah,
he just doesn't really want to be there.
And he's left to go party with his family.
Yeah.
He's left for birthdays and weddings.
Yeah, and he's like, Coach,
games.
I'm not going to play this weekend. I'm going to go home with the fam. It's like, okay, great.
And he's on Instagram having a good time back home in Brazil.
Yeah. So, and I think Thomas Tuchel is a good coach. I think obviously coming from Borussia Dortmund, he just signed a 1-year extension at PSG. But I think Neymar, one of the hardest players to manage in the world. PSG paid about $200 million for him, so he is not going to be cheap. So my question is, who wants him? Who can afford him? Do you think he's gone, Trav?
I think he's going back to Barcelona.
I love this man. I agree with him. Did you even add the lisp in Barcelona there? I feel like I heard that. Barcelona. No? I was going to give you credit for being worldly, but...
Not intentionally. Are you talking about the little
like
squiggly?
The little
squiggly.
Okay, no, all right.
Under the sea.
Yeah, you lost all credit for being
That's
worldly.
unfortunate.
I do not have a lisp, but I did not intentionally
The Spanish lisp?
Okay. No.
right.
I may have
No,
stumbled
Producer Chris.
over my tongue. I don't know, but
Producer Chris, do you give him credit for that? I wasn't going to give him credit for that. All right.
There's not an accent on that word.
Stop talking. Producer Chris is...
Did you listen to the last episode?
Oh, I listened to the last episode. Apparently, there's a accent in CONCACAF.
Yeah, apparently Mason.
Shout out to Mason for always making words more complicated than they actually are. Dirt, is he in? Is he out? Is he gone? And is he? What is he going to do? Is he going to play golf?
I think he's got to be gone. I mean, if they're trying to build a program and he's not going to fit into that, if he's going to spend every weekend partying with his family.
Not only not fit in, he's going to pull in the opposite direction.
Well, yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
I agree. I think he's going back to Barcelona. I think it's going to be expensive.
Yeah, so that's interesting you say that. So Barcelona is preparing a deal where they might send Coutinho and $100 million to get Neymar. And Neymar has come out and said, look, I want to go back to Barcelona. I missed it at Barcelona. I want to play there. And he said he would take a pay cut to do it, which is very interesting. But at the same time, man, he went to PSG to be the guy because the reality is as long as Messi's wearing the number 10 shirt, it's not going to happen. He's not going to be the guy at Barcelona. So as long as Suarez is there, I don't think he's going to be the guy. So you look at, him playing third fiddle potentially at Barcelona. Is he going to be happy with that? What do we think?
I think he'd be fine with that. He's reportedly sent Messi and Suarez a WhatsApp message, and he said,
"Yeah, isn't that the weirdest thing? It's like they have a WhatsApp group chat, the three of them, and they're all buddy, and they're not playing for the same team anymore. That's weird."
Yeah, I think that is weird, but yeah, he apparently said guys, don't worry, I'm coming back. But I don't think he'd have a problem being in the shadow of Messi again, as long as it gives him a more successful career. And also, Dani Alves came out and
he's gone.
He's announced his departure from PSG, and they were good friends back at Barcelona and still at PSG as well.
Where do you think he's going to go? That's an interesting point.
Maybe back to Spain as well. Maybe
couldn't go to Barcelona or Madrid. He's not good enough.
Not Barcelona again.
He's 80 years old.
But maybe like an Atletico or a team like that.
Fair enough. I agree with you. So I do have, before we go, I'll have one more question that's kind of a question 3.5. It's a spin-off of this question. So you look at, there's always been the debate for PSG with Neymar and Mbappe, and Neymar came to be the star, but Mbappe ended up kind of being the star. And then you had Cavani there, which is Cavani's got a big head as well, and you have Draxler, who's really good, and you have Thiago Silva, and you have Buffon, and you have all these big names, and Neymar came to be the guy and didn't really end up being the guy. So my question for you is, from an investment standpoint, as PSG, you got to get rid of one, Mbappe or Neymar. Do you keep Mbappe? Do you keep Neymar? If you were running the club, if you were in charge of the club.
Oh, you got to get rid of Neymar, hands down.
I second that.
He's a cancer in the locker room, I think, and his antics on the field, he literally spends 3-4 minutes total on the ground
per game
in
on
a
average.
game.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is
Yep.
an actual stat. Yes,
Yeah.
3
Oh my
minutes
God.
is the average time spent on the ground by Neymar per 90 minutes.
And there were endless memes in 2018 of him just rolling on the ground. So yeah, I think he's lost the respect of his teammates.
Yeah,
as
I
well,
just-
and
I mean-
I think he's out.
I think we all knew the answer to this question. I just really wanted to talk about Kylian Mbappe. I'm on brand. It's a sport.
Yeah, and he's the face of the French national team playing in France, and
He's 20.
Yeah, he's young. He's young.
young.
He's good.
Energetic.
20 World Cup winner, French national team playing in France. I mean, he seems to be a fairly level-headed professional so far, at least. Neymar obviously pulling in the wrong direction, but I do think Neymar wants to leave because he realizes how much damage his last 2 years at PSG have done to his career. I think
Yeah.
he went from being talked about as the third best player in the world to now it's not many people really want him,
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
yeah.
So, no, I mean, Kylian Mbappe, definitely one for the future. I think in 5 years he'll Ballon d'Or. Obviously coming out, and he was interviewed about that and said, what's more important than Ballon d'Or, the Champions League? Coming out and saying he wants to win the Champions League first because he feels like he must win the Champions League to win the Ballon d'Or. So,
Yeah.
interesting comment there. Yeah, guys, we want to hear your thoughts. We'd love to hear what you have to say. Obviously, a lot of big topics here. Please get at us on social media, Facebook, Box to Box Radio, Instagram, Box to Box _radio. Our Twitter is at B_B_radio. And you can email us. Again, we'd love to hear your questions. Our email is 90min@boxboxradio.com. We would like to give a big shout out to Sincerely Yours. Great music. Again, thanks to Dalton Teague, and please go give them a shout. We are on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, and Spotify. Guys, any closing remarks here?
Been a good episode. It's been a while since I've been on an away leg, so it's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, man. Producer Chris doesn't have a mic. We're going to skip you. He's giving me the death glare over there. Dirt, first away leg. What'd you think?
Not too bad. I'll have to really read up on my soccer and see what goes on in
Yeah.
things.
I think you left the octagon a little bit bloodied, but you're still
It's
in one
okay.
piece and desire to come back.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Again, this has been Dirt, Trav, producer Chris, Travis Carmichael, the king of the away leg. We'll see you guys next time.